Salutations, my fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to Tales of Phantasia. Last time, we've become acquainted with Tornix D. Morrison. Apparently, he knows our family pretty well. And we also got Chester back. Today, we're going to be tackling the Mausoleum. What I'm showing off here is the dual kick. The Poseidon kick, which is a combination attack. The two percentages for your two techs, Poseidon Bolt and Dual Kick, need to be at 100% in order to use this technique. So, put it simply, it's a combination of the two techs. Not every combination tech applies to that same rule. As a matter of fact, as we'll see later on in the game, some of the combination techs we get are actually completely different techniques, so that's pretty awesome. But again, they have to be at 100 in order to use it. So, spoiler warning: I'm not getting Poseidon kick for quite a while. I'm not one to grind unnecessarily with this game. I mean, granted, it's probably a good idea that I do so. Oh, by the way, I think that was a zombie, just a stronger version of the ghoul. But as I was saying, I don't usually grind unless if I feel like I absolutely have to. Which, to be fair, I probably did for the two battles we're going to be seeing in some of the later parts, or at least two boss fights specifically. Anyway, right there, we've just acquired what is called a spy lens. We can't go through that door, by the way, we'll be there later. Anyway, a spy lens is basically a means to scan enemies' HP, like their TP, I think weaknesses, and resistances as well. So, pick those up when you're able to. You can buy plenty at the shop. In fact, they cost like almost nothing. I think in this game it's like 5 or 10 gold that you're spending. Anyway, one of the other items we've acquired was called an hourglass. Now, an hourglass is very interesting because it can stop time for enemies for a short time. I do not think this works on bosses, so unfortunately, it ends up not being very useful to me. I don't think I ever use one, actually. In fact, I might think about just selling the ones I have currently. Anyway, this right here is a rune bottle. Rune bottles are absolutely incredible. Rune bottles can transform items into other items, and in some cases, better items. Like when I used the rune bottle on that savory, it became a red savory. That's why I didn't want to use it earlier, because of this rune bottle. Now it increases 10%, so we use that on Mint, so she has more TP. I always increase the TP of my mages, well, specifically my white mage, that way when she starts getting the more potent healing magic, she'll have plenty of TP to back it up. Anyway, as you were seeing with all the highlighted items in my inventory when I selected the rune bottle, those are items you cannot use a rune bottle on. Everything else, go ahead, go nuts. Depending on the items you use it on, you'll get different effects. I don't exactly know what I was showing off in this fight. I think I was trying to show off a technique, and it ended up blowing up in my face because it didn't happen. Because Min acquired a new technique called Hammer. We're actually going to be seeing it in the next fight that I show off. But again, as I was saying, rune bottles will change items. For example, if you use a if you use a rune bottle on an apple gummy, it will become a lemon gummy, which heals for more HP. I think it's 60 instead of 40. Anyways, as I was saying earlier, this is the hammer ability. It's not that useful in some regards. It's one of those things where it can be incredibly useful or incredibly useless. It's useful because it can put enemies in a daze, and that makes them ripe for the picking. They're completely vulnerable when they're dazed, as I mentioned before, so the hammer tech is very useful. The downside is, though, it's not very accurate, at least in my opinion, and especially when it comes to the boss fights, you don't get a whole lot of use out of it. As a matter of fact, I think in the boss fights that I defeat with this playthrough, I honestly think the hammer didn't do much for me at all. Or at least for some of the bigger bosses we fight in this game. I guess some of the more, main character size, if that makes any sense. I'm saying, like, if the boss is at the height level of our characters. Or at least their sprites. They're about as tall as the main character sprites. I'm sounding really weird saying this, dudes and dudettes. I apologize. Anyway, I didn't get to explaining this dungeon. Now, this dungeon is a little bit annoying because it's long. Unlike our previous dungeon, the prison, this dungeon can be long, assuming it's your first time playing this game. I highly suggest you use this as a guide because you can get lost rather easily throughout this dungeon. And considering how obnoxious the encounter rate is in this game, it can only get worse. I'm changing my text so I can conserve the TP. The other downside with the hammer is that for some reason, Mint's gonna learn a few techs later on, but she never uses them. As a matter of fact, the hammer is the tech she uses the most, and it's kind of annoying when she's constantly using it when she needs the TP for the sake of healing purposes. Anyway, we got an iron golem, or just a golem here, a stone golem, specifically. This golem can either be a pain in the ass, or, well, I'm waiting. There we go. An absolute pushover. The thing is that the golem can deal a decent amount of damage. It also has plenty of defense because, well, it's made of rock. It's going to have defense capabilities. Pokemon logic right there. But the thing is with the golems, they're incredibly slow. So they're not going to be able to get much opportunities to do anything since they take forever to even move throughout the battlefield. Plus, getting them in a stun lock is very easy. I feel some strange energy react. Bleh. I really gotta keep that text up longer so I can read it properly for you guys. Anyway, we've got the lace ruby. I'm cutting out all the way up to this door because I think you can walk into this door, but you can't do anything else from here. No, actually no, the door's completely locked, because even if you could go through the door, you wouldn't be able to use that teleporter. The lace ruby is the only way to do that. But as I was saying, the golem isn't going to be able to do much, and getting it in a stun lock is very, very easy to do. Anyway, we got a reverse doll here. Now, reverse dolls can either be incredibly awesome or one-use only sort of deals. As you notice in the description, it can revive a character that's knocked out, or specifically the one that's wearing it. I think I equipped it to Mint, so if she were to get knocked out, she will be immediately revived without the use of a life bottle. There is an incredibly high chance that after it brings back the character, it will immediately disintegrate. I'm not sure if it's 99 though, because I think Mint sticks with this item for a long time, and she does die a couple times throughout this playthrough, and she gets revived multiple times via the reverse doll. So honestly, I don't know. Also, we got some chicken, and that gives you 100 for your food sack. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but your food sack is incredibly small. It can only hold up to 200 amount, I guess, pounds of food. I'm thinking Oregon Trail logic here, but yeah. The highest value for our current food sack is only 200, which is very mediocre. And we're not going to be able to do much with it, especially considering the fact we need it to heal. Now, I'm assuming you noticed that I haven't been using my jet boots a lot. I mentioned last part that the jet boots can allow you to move faster in towns and dungeons. You really don't want to use the boots inside dungeons. It's kind of like how Gen 3 of Pokemon operates. Yes, you can move faster, that's great, but the encounter rate for enemies, Pokemon, whatever it is you're playing, if there is an ability to run in the game, don't use it too often, especially in places where you can encounter enemies, because it increases the enemy rate. And in a place like this, you really don't want to deal with that. Also, we dropped our lace ruby, so now we have to go grab it. That's kind of annoying. This is a little interesting gimmick. I don't think we ever see this again, but now we can fly, or levitate, I guess. The only use for this, however, is to get our lace ruby back. We could have gone down here earlier, no problem at all. The problem is, you see this, the floor that's constantly flashing? Well, it will damage you consistently as long as you're standing on that floor. That's why we need to, float up, because otherwise we'd be taking a lot of pot shots. And honestly, I think it is possible to get through there without dying, and also without using the float ability, but in most cases, that's a pipe dream. You gotta be stocked up the wazoo with healing items, because taking too many pot shots from the floor, it could be incredibly obnoxious. And it could diminish your chances of completing this dungeon. Granted, our boss fight for this dungeon is $2. The only strategy I can tell you is go for the one behind you, not for the one in front of you. Or at the very least, assuming you don't get ambushed like I did. I'm not sure if that was just bad luck on my part, but just attack the golem closest to you, because again, they're very slow. They can deal a decent amount of damage, but stun locking them is very easy to do. Also, do not use the Poseidon Bolt on them. I think it heals them, actually, which is weird. They're made of stone, and I don't know. I really don't know. But anyways, we got that taken care of, which is awesome. I think Mint learned Deep Mist. I'll explain what that does maybe next part, because, yeah. You've done nothing but come all this way to die now. I told you not to follow me. You deliberately disobeyed me. Oh boy, what's going on here? Now Witches the Seal is dissolved. Alright. Oh shit. Oh snap. Oh son of a hedgehog. Oh boy. This has gotten real. What the hell is going on here? Now our king will return. What are you talking about? Listen to me now. After the Valhalla War, 100 years ago, a great king attempted to take over another country. I'm sorry, my voice is a little... Excuse me, I'm probably going to cut that cough out. Tornix, what the hell are you talking about? Malice is trying to reawaken King Dios. You and Mint are the children of those who sealed Dios here in the first place. Your father Miguel and your mother Maria, along with Mint's mother Meryl and I. We were the 4 warriors who sealed Dios that many years ago. Me? And me? Yes, somehow Dios is using Malice to unseal himself. What a happy little reunion. I'm sorry, Tornix, Chester. Mint and I, we have a score to settle with Malice. We've got to avenge our families! Later. We'll do it later after, we, revive this mummy in a sarcophagus. Pretty cool. Oh. Okay, that is not no mummy. Oh my gosh, what are we looking at? It's Dios from the beginning of the game. Oh snap. It just got a little ugly, dudes and dudettes. Oh boy. He's been freed. I wonder what that means. Let's find out. Welcome, Dios. Now show us the meaning of power. I am Malice. Grant my wish. Destroy these infidels. You foolish man. Do you know I've only been using you? What do you mean? You serve me now. I released you. All who oppose me will die. Let me refresh your memory. You came to this shrine 3 months ago, and I enticed you into finding the pendants for my release. Your weak mind is your undoing. I hope hell has something special in store for you. What? Not gonna lie. Voice acting is actually a little bit tough on my throat, especially, excuse me, when my throat is dry. I don't know why, but why? You serve your purpose, but now you have outlived your usefulness. This can't be! And Dowser says, screw it, and kills him off. I mean, he really did outlive his usefulness. You humans always do whatever you want. You have no concept of the big picture. You're inhuman! And you are damned eternally in my sight. Your sword will be ineffective against him. I will send you to a place where you can gain the power you need to defeat him. You all lost hope. What are you talking about? Take this book with you, and remember your parents. Your time is up, old man. I've got to act fast. Chester! Chester, no! Chester, wake up. Where did you send them, old man? Ha! You think I'm going to tell you? I know they fell through time. I'll find out when and where they are. And when I do, they're finished! Dios, you... This will be your final resting place. We'll see how you enjoy years of darkness here. And... wow. Alright, let's see. This is part 4. Someone else's... Two more of our people died. What is this game? I thought RPGs were supposed to be nice and cheerful, or at least a good chunk of them. I'm gonna go... Fuck this, I should have played Pokemon. Oh, my head. Mint, wake up! Mint! Oh, Kless. Where are we? I don't know. But it's really foggy here. This land's on fire! It's beautiful. It looks like fire, it really does. Chester? Tornix? We have to find Mr. Morrison. We can't just stay here forever. Kless, let's go. It's just that this is all my fault. No, it's not. If it hadn't been for me, my pendant, none of this would have ever happened. What's that book? Tornix handed it to me. The Journal of Tornix D. Morrison. Long ago, Dios fought with 4 warriors, but he escaped through a time portal to our time. Miguel and Maria Alvang, Meryl Adnaid, and myself, Tornix D. Morrison, sealed Dios in a sarcophagus with an incantation. The seal could only be dissolved by the 2 pendants used in the incantation to create the barrier. Sir Miguel took one of them, and Lady Meryl took the other. We vowed never to meet again, or discuss what transpired that day, for fear that someone may release the monster called Dios. Our parents were heroes? We've got to find a way to stop Dios, but first let's find someone who can tell us where we are. Good idea. And oh shit! It's Chester's bow. Chester, forgive me! Kless, I'm sure he's safe. I'm sure he's not. I think he's dead along with Mr. Morrison. Wow, that was a thing. So we've lost 2 more comrades. I guess next time on, I guess we're gonna end it off here. Next time on Tales of Phantasia, we're gonna be exploring this world we've been sent to, and see if we can find a way to stop Dio. So until then, I got a juice.